Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kim, if you'll note that two of us are here in person and Ben is remote on a cell phone. Just a quick announcement that we held a brief executive session before the meeting for a personnel discussion. Do we have any public comment on agenda items? No. Secretary's report from last month.
Nothing for me.
Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report. All right, so the June balances are as follows. The general fund investment escrows and liability, $8,785,023.69. The highway aid fund, $1,485,363.58. The capital reserve fund, $1,810,355.19, for a total June balance of $12,080,742.46.
We will file that for audit. Bills.
Monthly bills for June 1st through June 30th. The general fund, $460,353.96. The escrow fund, $2,624.95. The state highway fund, $5,957.96, and the capital reserve fund total $0, for total bills of $468,926.87. I make a motion that we pay the bills.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to pay the bills. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Reports. 2025 Lancaster Township 911 EMS report. We have.
Just it's supplied in your.
Oh, it's in our
yeah,
packet. Okay, I didn't know if someone was speaking to it. Lafayette Fire Company covers the east side of the township. Responded to 8 calls for us in the month of June. Lancaster Township Fire Department. Chief.
Month of June, 35 calls, brings us to 192 year to date. Talked about training. August 15th, we're going to participate and host a live fire training exercise in Westchester. Along with us will also be the Lafayette Fire Company, who invited them to come along and help us. They've hosted it in previous years. It was our turn, so we have a good number of attendees for that day. We provided an in-house EVOC class, emergency vehicle operator class. We had 9 personnel attend that. And in previous months, I've talked about the 5 candidates that went through EMT. We finally got the 5th individual across the finish line, so we're 5 for 5, which is good. National Night Out, August 4th. I believe it's going to be a cooperative effort between us and the police department over at the Township Park. We'll be taking part in that. An item of note, I guess last month, Keith Eshelman from Blue Rock Fire Company, is the chief of 905, had reached out to me, and the topic of discussion was the interest of Lancaster Township Fire Department to join the regional Blue Rock Fire Rescue group. The conversation started off slow, then it got a little bit of momentum. We took it to our board, took it to our membership. Naturally, there's a little bit of hesitation, but in doing so, I did invite Dwayne Hegelgantz, who is the fire commissioner for Blue Rock Fire Rescue, to come to our officer meeting August 11th at 7 p.m. It's an open forum. Anybody's welcome to come. Just simply a question and answer, so that we can get a little bit more information, some facts finding about Blue Rock, and see if the fit makes sense for us. Obviously, it's going to take much more than just us as a fire department. It's going to involve the township and all invested parties. So just so you guys are aware, we're opening up at least a dialogue to see where that goes.
Okay.
Any questions for me?
No, for me.
Thanks.
Thank you. The recycling report from May, which maybe that's June, 19.94 100%. Safety committee minutes and sewer reports are available on the website and at the township office for a nominal fee. Workshop reports, planning and zoning, Mr. Donnelly.
Good evening. I see quite a few items on the agenda tonight for action for the board. Items that were most have been through the planning commission and now here for your decision tonight. The grass tours continue. Grass, I think overall, dare I say, is I think a little better than it was last year at this point. Still busy. I think this time of year has slowed down with the weather and so forth, but it's a little better. Storm damage from the July 4th weekend, I think overall, I think we were pretty fortunate. We did have a couple of trees down in the township, a few damaged structures, but overall nothing too crazy, no injuries or anything like that that was reported to me anyway. The county prison continues to move forward. They've been through the planning commission now. They're taking care of some loose ends that they need to finish up before bringing it to the board. I would anticipate you see that in the near future. Not tonight, but you'll be seeing some more from that before long.
Great. Questions?
None for me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Township engineer, Ben Weber.
Good evening. I really only want to touch on the MS4 annual presentation, which is required by the state that we offer a presentation at a public meeting, and we do it every July, basically. Things are holding up well with our MS4 program. We continue to do our good housekeeping practices through the Public Works Department. We continue our public education and outreach. We continue getting the public involved in a variety of things. Most recently, the Conestoga cleanup, which is a really good thing for people to get involved in. We also have the somewhat difficult job of dealing with people who own stormwater management facilities and making sure that they are being properly inspected and maintained, giving us documentation of that. So it's a matter of re-educating, reminding, nudging people to do what they've already agreed to do, or perhaps they weren't even aware that once they purchased a property, they have to take care of it. So just education in a lot of ways and follow up with people. And then we do have the responsibility of detecting and eliminating illicit discharges. And we have one that's been going on for quite a few months that just recently finally got resolved. So I will be doing a follow-up inspection and then potentially closing out our notice of violation against that property owner. So I'm glad that that's coming to a conclusion. Our annual report from last year, we recently found out was deemed to be satisfactory, so that's good. Our pollutant reduction plan is in place. Kensington Club Basin is still there. It's doing what it does. So we continue to satisfy our requirements under the Chesapeake Bay pollutant reduction plans. And also still no word as to what's coming down the pike for new regulations, as the DEP a couple of years ago had suggested scrapping all the pollutant reduction plan scenario and go with volume management. We've heard nothing more about that, so I really have no idea what might be coming at us next or when. So that's my report for MS4.
Very good. No question for me. Thank you, sir. Chief Seibel.
Summary of June 2026.
Did I skip Devin?
It's okay, you can go.
I'm sorry, Devin.
You're fine.
We'll come back to you.
That's okay, thank you. We had over 636 calls for police services, 22 were vehicle crashes. The officers conducted 178 traffic enforcement stops, 120 traffic citations were issued, 16 written traffic warnings and 42 verbal traffic warnings were issued. We had 8 misdemeanor and felony arrests, 2 of which were DUIs, and 10 people were cited for non-traffic violations such as disorderly conduct and public drunkenness.
We had 0 auto theft reports last month, and to date we've given out 55 vehicle steering wheel locks to residents in the township. Officers have continued to conduct traffic enforcement efforts throughout the township in response to specific complaints we received from residents. We also participated in a nighttime traffic enforcement detail that was grant funded by the Center for Traffic Safety, and 2 officers on June 8th primarily enforced vehicle code violations in the township's east end for about 5 hours that evening. We recently upgraded our police records management software, and the officers have transitioned to this. For the most part, it's another learning curve that we have to surmount and navigate, and we have not had any significant issues, but we're still learning as we go along with that. Professional development, 1 sergeant completed FBI leadership and executive development course. A 2nd officer completed certification in defensive tactics training, and he will now serve as an instructor for the other officers in the department in order to maintain their annual police officer certification with the Commonwealth. A 3rd officer completed commercial vehicle size and weights enforcement training that was hosted by state police, and this will enable the officer to ensure that our state and township roadways, the weight restrictions are adhered to by commercial vehicles that traverse the township streets. And a 4th officer successfully completed a tactical pistol combat course that was held at the Pennsylvania State Police Academy. And we do have an officer assigned to National Night Out to coordinate with the fire department, and we're looking forward to that event.
Great. How did the 4th of July week go for you guys?
It was quieter than past, but I'm sure the rain and wind,
Okay, yeah, I was gonna
besides
say.
storm-related calls, it wasn't too bad.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Devin. Apologies.
No worries. First, I just want to note that I know Ben gave that presentation in a short period of time, but what he does with the MS4 report is by far fantastic, and he does a great job with it. I just want to give him a little more credit than that 2.5 minute report that he gave for that every year. So that is a lot of work, and we all appreciate it. A few things from my report. We have the waste operations. I know we talked about the 4th of July storms that were pretty big. I think you guys seen the reports in there, the trees down, and some of the damage that we had that we responded to with the assistance of the police department. We did extend the hours for the woody waste facility last week, which seemed to help some of the residents get some of their debris in last week. We also have been working on and finished storm improvements on Honeysuckle Lane, which held up during the storm event. So it was a great improvement on that over there, and we're currently working at Kensington Club. And last month we also planted 6 new trees at the St. Joe's Park, along with assistance in installing some shades for those ball fields over there. Two other items is on the 9th of July, Ben and I attended the Lancaster Heritage Pathway meeting down at the Maple Grove building due to the storms that got shifted from Lancaster Country Day to the Maple Grove building that was hosted. Had a lot of feedback from residents, and we're going to be taking that information and meeting with those folks in the coming month, and hopefully get something to you guys next month as to where we sit with that. And then finally, you also see I attached in my report the new school zone map. The PennDOT, surprisingly, and the School District of Lancaster were able to get that to us a lot sooner than we anticipated. We got the approved plan, ordered the signs, the school district paid for it. We're going to install them here in the next week or two, and then we'll be ready to go for the 2026-2027 school year for Burroughs Elementary.
Great.
My report.
Very good.
It's a good movement on the Burroughs line. Considering that I went to the community meeting that you guys had there.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll put some ease on the parents. Probably not, but
I hope so.
it sounds like it's moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Township manager.
So over the last couple of months, Devin's done a good job of laying out where we are, where we've been, where we are, and where we're going with new public works facility. The last part of that presentation is the financial piece of this, which I'd like to talk a little bit about tonight. And then ultimately what I'm hoping to get from the board is some direction as to whether or not we put the project out to bid for a second time. So just to kind of recap what we've done the last couple of months, if Tony could help me out.
Oops, sorry.
That's all right, bud. So 1990 versus today, we've had an expansion of the number of roads and responsibilities that we have, the number of parks that we have, and just in general, the amount of work that the Public Works Department does. That's the shot that we've shown you a couple of times about what the Public Works Department deals with on a daily basis, trying to get equipment in and out. All right, slow down. That's okay, you can go. We put this project out to bid. We had anticipated, when we started this, we were talking about a $4 million building. It became evident post-COVID that this was going to be more like a $6 million building. By the time that we put it out to bid, inflation had hit pretty hard between tariffs, fuel costs, inflation, and supply chain things. We've seen public projects all over the county and all over the Commonwealth increase exponentially, and we ran into that. The bids came back, all said and done, about $10 million. Which made us stop and take a beat and say, what are all the alternatives? And we've investigated a bunch of different alternatives, trying to acquire property, trying to find multiple locations in which to house what we do and how we do it. We keep coming back to the fact that this site is the best site for us, where it's located, the fact that we have control of it, and the plateau upon which it sits will fit our needs both now and into the future. But the cost was still too high. So we went back, contacted the lowest bidders to talk about what would make the project a little more attractive to them at a lower price point. We met with the architect, they did some additional investigation, and then we just kind of weeded through the project to find out where we could get savings. The two biggest ticket items were, we decided to lower the height of the building, and we think we can accommodate the needs that we have at this lower height. The building was lowered by about a third. It's about right, about 30%. That was a big ticket savings. The other one was we found an alternative for material storage that we think is going to work for us. Not only did that shave the cost in terms of the material storage bins, but also the location of the bins can be moved and adjusted in a way that prevents a bunch of excavation and a bunch of blasting. And then we, value engineered out some doors and some paint and some amenities that we might be able to do later, and even if we can't, we can live without. The end result is the architect feels so confident that we can get this project in for $8 million or less that they put their money where their mouth is. If the bids come in over $8 million, they're not going to charge us for any of the revisions or any of the rebids. But have said that if the bids come in at their projected number, then they're going to charge us for the work that they've done, which amounts to about $19,000. But all that being said, we went from a project that we thought might be 4 to 6 to a project that we hope comes in at under 8, and that's going to have a financial impact on the bottom line and on our reserves. So, Tony, if you could. We have a little bit of a structural deficit. This was a known quantity. This happens in between assessments. About 2.2 million of our $10 or $11 million budget comes from property tax. The rest comes from other sources and funds, including earned income tax. That tends to lag a little bit behind. So we will occasionally run small deficits, and then as the income tax starts to catch up, that sort of balances out. And in between those periods, we tend to stockpile reserves. So if you remember the last time that we had a tax increase, it had been many years prior to us having a tax increase. And so we kind of ride this wave of planned savings and then planned spending out of reserves. But all that being said, we are entering a period of where we need to spend down on those reserves, and you can see over the next 5 years, we would look to dip into those reserves by about $2.2 million. One thing we heard loud and clear at the last tax increase was folks were more, at least the people who showed up at the meeting, were more amenable to a small tax increase over a longer period of time than they were waiting 6 or 7 or 10 years and then hitting them with a full mill increase. So hearing that, we're looking at where we are just from a structural standpoint without the building and trying to accommodate that sort of strategy. If you go to the next slide. As far as the building goes, if the building's $8 million, we feel that we probably need to borrow between $4 and $6 million. I'm not looking for any decision with regard to that tonight, but we did put together a table to look at the different lengths of borrowing, the different amounts of borrowing, to try to get a sense of what our debt service would be. And what you're looking at there is kind of A, B, C, D, and E are different amounts of money, what the debt service would be over the course of time, and how we might have a strategy to kind of pay off that debt service at the most affordable price of what it is to borrow money. Tony, if you can go to the next slide. So I think we need to put the financial conversation in terms of specifics aside for a second, other than to say this, no matter how we go about this, if the intention is to build the building for $8 million, we're gonna have to have a borrowing. That borrowing is gonna have to include some use of reserves, some borrowing, and then some accommodation for that ebb and flow of our structural deficit that I talked about. The end result is going to be a millage rate. Now, we're just going to use common terms. Now, when we go through when we get to the other side of assessment, there'll be an adjustment. But just for the sake of this conversation, let's just use the numbers that we have today. We're at 1.19 mils now. When we get to the other side of the project, in 5 years, we need to be closer to 3 mils. Now, whether that's 2.75 or 3.1 or somewhere in between, we need to be prepared and have an appetite that over the next 5 years, we need to start moving our millage rate up toward an additional $1 million in revenue in order to satisfy the debt service on the building and make sure that we're well prepared into the future so we don't see any large tax increases. So if you can go to the next slide, Tony. What does that mean relative to our neighbors? Right now we're at 1.91. Oop, go back. Doing 9.
Oh.
All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. So go to the next slide. Right now we're 1.19 mils. That shows what the millage rate is compared to some of our municipal partners to get a sense of where we are now and where we would be if we had to go to 2.75 to 3 mils. And it shows the financial impact for a home assessed at $200,000. Again, this is pre-reassessment. All these numbers change relative and proportionally, but to give you a sense that a homeowner in a currently assessed $200,000 house would be looking at a millage rate of about 3 mils and an increase of about $231 by 2031. All right, Tony, next slide. So if we were going to go to bid, what I'd be looking for tonight was, is this something we want to bid? This doesn't make the final decision. We'd have to get the numbers back to see what the project cost would be in total. If we decided to award that bid, which would be at a future meeting, it would coincide around the same time that we start doing budget preparation, and then we could dig further into the numbers to decide, what is the balance between borrowing, spending, increases, not increases, et cetera, et cetera. But as when we started this conversation in April or May publicly, I want to make sure that the public has a chance to weigh in, that you guys have a chance to contemplate what we're going to do, and that all of us internally can figure out what other sources of funding or what other means to reduce spending or increase revenue exist. So I'm hoping out of this meeting to get an authorization to bid, and that this conversation continues both in this room and out with the public.
I'm good to bid.
I think we send it out to bid so then we know where we're at, whether we're gonna do it or not. gonna do it.
Ben?
I agree.
Okay,
I agree.
great. We'll post this information on the website. We'll continue to talk about it publicly here, and we'll continue to have these conversations with the residents, and anybody who has any questions about this or needs any additional information can contact the office and we'll make it available.
Great. Thank you, sir. Announcements, Tuesday, July 21st, 2026, at 7 p.m. Planning Commission meeting here at 1240 Maple Ave. Tuesday, July 28th, 2026, 7 p.m. Zoning Hearing Board meeting here at 1240 Maple Ave. Monday, August 3rd, 2026, 6:30, the Historical Commission meeting here at 1240 Maple Ave. And our next Board of Supervisors meeting is Monday, August 10th at 6 p.m. here at Maple Avenue. No old business. Planning and zoning business.
All right, LTPC 343-177, River Drive Stormwater Management Site Plan Modification Plan Request. I make a motion that we approve a request from Brian Patterson for a modification of the Stormwater Management Ordinance Section 229-36, allowing the project to be processed as a minor land disturbance permit.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve LTPC 343-117 River Drive Stormwater Management Site Plan Modification Request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 LTPC 345-1220, New Danville Pike Stormwater Management Site Plan Modification and Waiver Request. I make a motion that we approve a request from Rachel Kirkham, CEM Smith, for a modification of the Stormwater Management Ordinance Section 229-21, 229-33, and 229-37, allowing the project to be processed as a minor land disturbance permit, although it is on a property within an environmentally sensitive area. The Lancaster Township Planning Commission recommended the Board of Supervisors approve this request subject to the review and recommendations for approval by the Township Engineer.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve LTPC 345-1220 New Danville Pike Stormwater Management Site Plan Modification and Waiver Request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 LTPC 327 Millersville Apartments Land Development Plan Finance Security Reduction Request. I make a motion that we approve a request from Thomas Borghetti, Burger Development, for a reduction in the financial security for Millersville Apartments. This request was received by the Township on June 5th, 2026, and is letter dated June 25th, 2026. Township Engineer Ben Weber recommended the Township approve the request, but only reduce the amount of the required financial security by $105,000, by $105,549.95 to a new amount of $182,295.30.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve LTPC 327 Millersville Apartments Land Development Plan Financial Security Reduction Request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 LTPC 317, I make a motion that we approve a request from Derek Dissinger, Stevens and Lee for a reduction of the financial security for Wallbank Road self-storage. This request was received by the Township on June 11, 2026, and is letter dated June 29, 2026. Township Engineer Ben Weber recommended the Township approve the request, but only reduce the amount for the required financial security by $86,545.36 to a new amount of $24,561.68.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve LTPC 317 Wallbank Road Self-Storage Subdivision Plan Financial Security Release Request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 LTPC 3117, the Wallbank Road Self-Storage Land Development Plan Financial Security Reduction Request. I make a motion that we approve request from Dirk Dissinger, Stevens and Lee for a release of the financial security for Wallbank Road self-storage. This request was received by the township on June 11th in his letter dated June 30th, 2026. Township engineer Ben Weber recommended the township approve the request but only reduce the amount of required financial security by $220,899 to a new amount of $66,509.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve LTPC 317 Wellbank Road Self-Storage Land Development Plans Financial Security Reduction Request. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. New business.
Resolution 2026-08, accepting a dedication of the North Pier Drive Extension, Northfield Drive Extension, and additional right-of-way along Bean Hill Road as part of the public road system of Lancaster Township. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-08, accepting dedication of North Pier Drive Extension, Northfield Drive Extension, and additional right-of-way along Bean Hill Road as part of the public road system of Lancaster Township.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve resolution 2026-08. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Appointment of Mr. James Davis as Special Fire Police for the Lancaster Township Fire Department, having been duly sworn in by Judge Mary M. Spinagle on June 18th. I will make a motion that we approve the appointment of Mr. James Davis as Special Fire Police for the Lancaster Township Fire Department.
Second. Been moved and seconded to appoint Mr. James Davies as Special Fire Police for the Lancaster Township Fire Department. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Guest recognition and participation. Anyone have any non-agenda items that they have questions or would like to speak to? If you do, please come up to the podium and give us your name and address.